Hello, my name is Matthew Rowland, and this is my presentation on box office relationships for homework 2. To start off, what was the question? Well, the question was, what is the relationship between a gross box office revenue and other movie-related parameters? How does this relationship vary across different years? To start, we are given a bunch of data on a bunch of different movies with variables such as genre, star actors, estimated budget, so on and so forth. Immediately, my thought was to focus on the budget. That's because the budget is kind of the most important thing. It's what people put the most money into when they're making movies. If you want to have good advertising, star actors, crazy sets, all that type of stuff, it all goes into the budget. And I wanted to find if budget is the end-all be-all of variables, if you need a high budget to make a lot of earnings, or if people with low budgets, or people that plan on having a low budget, if they can make a lot of money in the box office, or if they're doomed. So I wanted to look at audience rating, which kind of relates to, can a filmmaker just really try to relate to the audience, make a great film, have it be highly scored, and that generate money rather than a crazy budget, or if the genre plays a factor in that as well. So for visual 1, I went with a scatter plot. It shows the estimated budget compared to the gross box office. This is in terms of years, so every dot you see here represents the budget for a year and how it relates to the box office numbers. So as you can see, as expected, the higher the budget, the more money is made in the box office. For visual 2, it's basically the same thing, except it focuses on profit rather than just earnings at the box office. And I made that a new variable in Tableau just by subtracting the estimated budget from the earnings, because that kind of gives a little more insight than just the number of dollars made at a box office, because you could make a lot, but if your budget's high, then that really doesn't matter that much. For visual 3, it's very similar to visual 1, as in the budget compared to the numbers. However, this time all these dots represent each individual movie. There's definitely less correlation. You can see there's a lot of density here, kind of a boom in the middle of maybe a little bit of mid-budgets making, turning in a lot of numbers at the box office, but generally not that much you can see there. And then this is also similar to visual 2, as in it relates the budget to the profit. And again, this is all the individual movies. Again, you can't see too much, so maybe budget isn't as much of a factor as we thought. Could be, could not be. Let's move on to visual 5, which is the audience ratings. I wanted to make a bubble chart because immediately the big bubbles that you see, 8.9, 8.9, 8.8, 8.7, all these, those are represent the audience rating, and the bigger the bubble, it means the higher number made at the box office. So these big numbers these big numbers for the audience ratings are making big numbers at the box office. I did the same thing here, again with profit. Again, you can see the big numbers that pop at you right away, these big bubbles that represent big profit. 8.9, 8.9, 8.7, you see some 6.5, 5.1, but generally the higher the audience score, the bigger the bubble, meaning the bigger the profit. So this could be more of a factor than budget, could help those low budget people really just try and make a great movie and ultimately have success. Visual 7, again, get much of interpretation here, but I thought it was kind of cool, even though I already had a lot of scatter plots, to show that show the highest rated films, ranging from just below 8 up to 8.9, and then you can see that on the left, that's the same top 20 rated films, but with their budget compared to profit. You don't see a whole lot of relationship there, but again, I thought it was pretty cool. Visual 8 is a pie chart, so this is the genres. Wanted to see if specific genres take a bigger slice of the pie out in terms of making a lot of money. You can see that other genre, which isn't really much, is the biggest there, but if you take that out of the equation, look at action, adventure, comedy, you see those are the big slices of the pie, while Western and musical might want to leave those out. Again, this is valuable information for a filmmaker who may not have may have a low budget, but if they tackle those adventure, action, comedy films, might allow them to make some more money. Visual 9 is just a line chart. I wanted to see if budget is varying throughout the years, if people are going lower budget as time goes on or higher budget. You can see it kind of goes up and down, so this might have stuff to do with the financial situation of the world or other variables that we don't know about. So what are the conclusions from this? Well, we kind of saw that the budget may not play as big of a factor as we thought. If you have a high budget, you're probably gonna turn in more at the box office in any given year, but that's expected. The profit definitely was less correlated, which gives these filmmakers with a low budget a little bit more hope. And then when you looked at each individual movie, it was kind of hard to see if the budget actually generated more money. So then, but when we looked at the audience rating, those bubbles that were the biggest certainly had the biggest audience rating. So if these filmmakers go in, they make a great movie, get great audience score, could help them out a lot. And then again, that pie chart that we showed, that was, focusing on those certain genres could also be helpful as well. So while it wasn't totally conclusive, we saw that the budget throughout the years kind of varied, and do with that information what you want. Thank you.